Good afternoon, TNT Super Fantastic family. Today is Hump Day Wednesday, February 27, 2019. Yours truly, Raymond 98 here, along with.
Good morning, TNT. How you guys doing today? Another fabulous Wednesday. We're here. Oh, it's supposed to be fabulous Friday or something, but anyway, we are here. And Ray, we didn't send out any tweets, didn't send out any blasts. And guess what, guys? More important than that, we have no new information today. Everything is absolutely, positively quiet as can be. All banks are quiet. Everybody over there is quiet. Nobody's hearing nothing, which we hope means something is happening. But nothing's really different from Monday. Unfortunately, this is the quietest day we probably ever had in the middle of the week. So no changes, no information. I wish I could tell you something. I wish I could tell you today at 3 o'clock, but I can't. But I'm still waiting to see what the end of the week brings. And that is that. In case you guys are looking for something else, today there is no earth-shattering news. Today, we just wait. Now, it might happen after the call, but so far, the only news coming out of Iraq, period, is Maliki on television trying to blame Obama for the invasion of ISIS. And that he asked Obama for help and to send 2 jets over and bomb, and Obama refused to do that. And that's why ISIS took over Mosul and half of Iraq. That's his side of the story, now that they're coming after him. And that's all that's on the news over there. There's nothing on the news over there about the budget, about the ministers, about the rate. We did hear, again, that the Lord and arms are trickling out, but we've heard that since Monday. We don't have it. We did hear the same rumors you guys did about people having it at a rate of 286. And we gathered a couple of countries, but none of our guys have actually seen it or have the Lord and arms in hand that we can see. Doesn't mean it's not happening. I mean, it's not happening on a vast level yet, is all it means. It means they're picking and choosing, just like the banks are doing here, what they're doing over there to at least get it out. And it means we continue to wait, but we know it is happening. All right, Ray, let's do it.
Okay, Bernie66 says, with all respect, you can please try to explain how Vietnam can purchase all of the commercial jets from Boeing. What currency are they using?
I have no idea. I would suspect if they're buying them from Boeing, they're using U.S. dollars. Vietnam has U.S. dollars. They are a country. Their economy is growing. I don't even know why you would question how they're buying airplanes. It's not like, they declare bankruptcy or something. It's a country that's operating. Go ahead, Ray.
Pie in the sky. Says, my husband and I had an escort business which we closed several years ago. The registration expired last October. We bought currency in the name of the escort. So now, where do we stand on the ownership of the currency purchased through the business? Does it automatically transfer to us as owners of the escort, or do we need to transfer ownership of that currency? I know nothing about how that process goes when you shut down an escort and what happens to the assets that belong to that escort. And say the one that gave you permission to be an escort, I'm sure they can give you the rules on when it shuts down where the assets go.
Man, great answer. Because I was saying, I don't know how in the world I'm going to answer this question. Because I thought sure you were saying they had an escort business. I said, really?
No.
I said, what? Oh, my God. I was like, that's the first question.
Okay, I guess I wasn't articulate enough in my pronunciation. Escort.
Okay. All right, you answered it. This is all we can do. Go ahead.
All right. Wordsmith for him says, He wants us to know this question is for both of us. Can you suggest some ways to make money grow for people who will not have a lot after exchanging? I have gifted several people who still don't believe in this, and they will not have a lot to work with. Yeah, whatever your bank is going to be offering. Those are going to be ways. And they can talk to insurance companies about annuities and look at those. I don't know what your people are going to have to work with, but I would say look at all of those options to see what's viable, from bank products to insurance company products to what else, Tony?
Well, I don't know. It should have gave us a dollar amount, first of all, because not a whole lot could be. I mean, are you giving people $20,000 or $200,000? I don't know what a whole lot is or not a whole lot is to start deciding where's the best places to look. But Ray was right. First of all, go right to the bank, see what kind of interest rate I can get with it, depending on what it is. But if you're talking about somebody got $40,000, $50,000, it's going to be different, and they're trying to learn how to grow their money from $40,000, $50,000 is hard, first of all, and you have to be extremely lucky or studious, second of all, because the place I would look, if that's all I had to work with or that amount, would be at some penny stocks. But you got to do some research on some companies before you can do that. Or I try to start doing some day trading and not spending more than $1,000 at a time to learn how to day trade. Because you can day trade, guys. I did it. I know. $1,000, and if you do it at the right time of day, do it, you can make $200 or $300 a day. I mean, you really can with that kind of money. And now you're still going to end up with, $5,000-$6,000 a month, $9,000 a month. If you're doing it every day at $300 a day and you're doing it right, you can, in fact, make a living day trading, because people do. But you have to go through the process and learn it and do that. So, again, you didn't give us enough information to make a clear-cut thing. If it's a couple $100,000 you want to day trade or you want to do annuities, they come guaranteed 7%, 10% interest on your money. You can lock in for a couple years and not even think about it. So there's a lot of options and things that I'm sure we will be discussing on our calls after the RV. Okay? So all I can do based on what we have.
All right. Lena says, it appears Iraq is not a current member of the WTO. That fact will hurt Iraq in complete trade regulations throughout the world. Meaning, where will I guess they stand? Wait a minute. Meaning will still be some limitations to them. There's a word missing somewhere in that sentence. Do you really think Iraq will release the RIRV with some limitations holding them back in the world of trade?
I don't think there are any limitations or will be applied to them. And I thought they were part of WTO, to tell you the truth. I can't remember. We went back through that a couple months ago. They were in, they were out, they were being discussed. I'll have to look that up because it's been so long ago before I can make that. Or somebody will let me know if they are or not, because I think they are already. But no, I do not think that's what's holding up the RV, and I do not think we have to wait for anything else because people are waiting for the release. It's already been there, and I tell you guys, today is Wednesday, right? Last Friday, Saturday, the rates were there, viable, and they were on administrative hold. So we're that close to this thing happening, people were notified. Administrative hold means it's cleared, just waiting for the go, which they were waiting for the Treasury to say go, and they were going to release it. Where we're at right now in this moment, I can't tell you. I know that's where we were. So we're not waiting on anything except for go. Okay?
AT1 Blue says, I am doing my best to be in the Best of Us Club. Thanks for the help. After the hedge fund rise and fall of the Dinar rate, do you believe the rate could go lower than the starting value? For example, starting rate on the Dinar is $5. The hedge funds drive the rate up to $7.50. Then the rate falls down to $3.71 to stabilize for ongoing trade. So do you think something like that could happen?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Something like that could happen. It could come out at $4.50, $5, whatever it is, go up to $12 and come back down to $3.75 because that's where they wanted it to be at. So yes, the 375 range, 380 range, I think is probably, or somewhere in there is the lowest it would go. It wouldn't go up to $12 and go down below $3 because it's not going to trade. It's supposedly, anyway, within 20 cents of what Kuwait's rate is. So somewhere in there, it could fall down, settle down, and be there. It depends on what happens during the initial run. It depends on what the price of oil is at the time, where it will come back down to. So, yes, your scenario is correct. It could jump out at $6 tomorrow, today. I mean, if the oil was at that price. Go up to 12, come back down, be 5, 4, 390, 385, 380, and that could be it, anywhere along there. So that's exactly what I see happening. Okay?
So one of two things here. Either it's not coming out at its real true rate initially, it's inflated, or you're looking at this oil prices fluctuating that wildly in that short period of a time?
I'm looking at the initial rate where it comes out at is going to be based on oil. They based their budget on oil being at $57, I think it was, or 56. So as long as oil is at that rate, then that's going to be the initial rate, and that's going to be ground level. Now, as oil goes up to 60, 65, well, first of all, after the excitement of the Dinar, it did happen. God, nobody ever thought this was really going to happen. Hedge funds jump in, investors jump in, and even some of us jump back in because we got paid and we know it's going back up. We're going to make an extra $2 or $3 if you're smart. And you're looking at it, you make millions of dollars on that ride up. Not even just waiting, but getting in and out. But anyway, that's another point. So then it goes up, and then the initial shot wears off, and it comes back down. And then it's going to go, two things to control it. People are selling to get their profit out real quick. That's what's going to take the price back down. But when it settles down, it will be based on the price of oil, because then the market will maintain, and it will fluctuate with the price of oil.
Well, that's pretty much what it's been doing for the last however long, even at the program rate, fluctuating with the price of oil, right? Or no?
Well, it hasn't really been trading right now. It's just there. But, yes, that's what all, well, not all, but, yeah, that's what it will do, go with the price of oil, up and down in the market. The dinar is always going to be tied to the dollar, but it's also going to be tied to oil because that's what they produce.
Okay. And historically, there haven't been wild mood swings, prices of oil rapidly, drastically changing in short spans. It's happened over periods of time.
Not in hours and days because it doesn't work like that.
Right.
But it has in weeks and months gone down. But up to $80, $90, oil used to be over $100. And that's where they thought it would be right now, over $100.
But the roller coaster ride that for the hedge fund thing that we're looking to be on is going to be very short, like days.
Yeah, I'm looking at 10, 12 days,
top.
Maybe even less. Yep.
Okay. Just wanted to put some realistic expectations in this process because some people may have been looking at it.
You want to look at this when it happens as you would look at an IPO. If you guys know about IPOs. Initial public offerings. Just like when Google and Facebook and Instagram, all those companies go public, any company actually. From that day one, the rate just shoots up. And it goes up sometimes, astronomical. Sometimes it inches up. But it goes up to a crest. It reaches its crest, and it comes down a whole lot faster than it went up. I can guarantee you that. Because the sell-off, it goes like crazy, and then it settles down. IPOs, a bunch of them, they will start out at $4, $5, $6, $7, make their run, and end up at $2 or $3. And slowly over years get back to that 4 or 5 where they initially were at. The majority of them are like that, tell you the truth. You have to pick the ones that don't do that. But there's even ways to overcome that once you learn the industry itself. So I don't want to be too confusing.
Okay, yeah. There's some other nuances to look at that, but I guess we could do it along the way as each day progresses when it's time for that. All right, cool. Let's see. LKRKL says, because of work, I usually listen to recorded calls, but Friday I'm heading on vacation, and Friday is my birthday. Can you play me the birthday song on Friday? Sure, if you're on the call.
Okay, then.
Oh, wait a minute. Because I usually listen to recorded calls. Okay, because of work. Well, you're not going to be working on Friday if you're on vacation.
They just want to hear it Friday night.
Listen to the call. Oh, they want, okay. All right, well, Tony, you have to remember to remind me to do that.
Okay, so the answer is no. Because if you're counting on me to remember, the answer is no. So go ahead.
I'll try my
sorry.
LKRKL. Call me on my private line and remind me that LKRKL. I don't know what the private line is, though, because it's private. But if you call me on it, I'll answer it. Orlando 1 says, I know Tony says nothing beats a failure but a try. Do we know of a minimum amount for the contract rate for the Dinar?
I do not know of a minimum amount. And that's why I say ask. I mean, if you're going to the teller window with a 25,000, any amount, if you go into the teller window, it's just not happening. So I can tell you that. Because they are not going to be authorized to do that. So unless you call the 800 number and make an appointment, it's not going to happen. And if you tell them you got 25,000 dinar or 50,000 dinar, they're probably not going to give you an appointment. So they're going to sort it out right then, So we just have to go from there. Now, if you guys only have 100,000 or 200 or 50,000 and they tell you to go to the window, then what people might do, and I'm not telling you to do it, not do it, and I don't want the bank to get mad at me either, but, if I gave out 25,000 notes to 10 people and they didn't have enough to qualify for it, but together they did, then they might form some kind of trust together real quick and go in there as that so they can get a rate and then divide it up. But that would qualify them to get that contract rate, whatever the number is. And I don't know what the number is, but I do know it doesn't take that long to form a group to meet certain qualifications if you do it right.
Right. And if you do a non-statutory trust, you don't have to get the state's permission to do it.
There you go.
As opposed to a corporation or an S corp or even an LLC, you got to wait for mama to say yes. And of course, you have to pay your appropriate fees. All right, moving right along. That's why I to say something I shouldn't. Jim in KC. Number one, do your banker contacts believe the rates we have been given are what will be offered at the exchange, subject to the price of oil?
Yes. They do believe that's what they're going to do. So now some of them say, well, of course, when it's going up and down, this is not the final rate. But 443 was supposed to be the rate last week, 2 weeks ago. I haven't asked for any more rates. Now, they had 443 on their screen. As I said, when they gave out the budget in the dinars and dollars, we did the math, came out to 443. So that is the rate they were actually looking to start with. Okay? Next.
Okay. Number 2, no, we don't have any new exchange procedures. Number 3, we don't have any information on structured payouts. Number 4, have you asked your banker contacts if they have confirmed from the UST that the ZIM will be or will not be exchanged? If they haven't, are we aware of the conflicting info from the committee guy? What reason have they given for not confirming what they will do?
They have not given a reason. They're saying this is what they're being told. So if that's what they're being told, it's front the treasury. I don't know. We talked to the committee guy. We've gotten the information several times. He has given me information, hung up the phone, called Washington, D.C., called back and said it's not going to happen. So why one place is not talking to the other place, I don't know. And I can't make them do it. All I can do is ask my contacts, and they're saying they're getting different information from their higher-ups. So we're just going to wait and see. Be prepared.
Okay, and I'll still wager you $1 on which way it's going to be.
No, your $1, right? You're going to pay me. I mean, I'll pay you $1, but you're going to give me 100 trillion notes. That was the
reserve note. Wait.
No, I bet you I can get 100 people on this call who don't remember it that way. So, go ahead.
It's recorded. They can do that. All right, Light Spirit says, as you may remember, I have been living in Brazil. Will I have problems exchanging in the U.S. considering I lived in the U.S. and have held addresses in the U.S. over 43 years of my life? You're still a U.S. citizen. I don't think you're going to have any problems. What say you, Tony?
I do not foresee any problems. I mean, as long as you maintain address, citizenship, and I don't see any problems. I would like to know, however, how do you like living in Brazil? People keep telling me to go over there. I want to check it out. All right. I wish that was a live person, but anyway. But
okay. Joe Schmo says, hey, Ray, that's my birthday, too. Tony, please remind Ray to play the birthday song. So, Joe Schmo, you come back here on Friday, and then you can remind us to play the birthday song for you and for LKRKL. Problem solved.
That's right. Because please don't count on Tony to remember that. So go ahead.
Okay, let's talk to some live callers. First one is 805 area code.
Hey, guys. What's up?
Hello? Hey, good morning.
Good morning. Two questions. First one, on Monday, Tony, you said the dong was going from 47 cents to somewhere around $2. That 47 cents is the low end. Is that something that's more predominant, or is it more predominant around the $1.37?
Well, it's been 47 cents for years. Is where it was supposed to be at, 47 to $1. And $1, over $1, $1.37 has been a rate that's shown up for the last 6-7 months. So they think it's going to be $1 to $2 right now. So that's more prevalent. That's what the bank is saying. So.
Yeah. That's what I just wanted to know if that 47 started showing up again. That's basically the question. So I got the answer. Thank you. Secondly, I am concerned about when I sign the NDA and then I try to come back and give back to the community as far as the information that I have. That, first of all, Ray answers the phone at 8:05. Well, that means my number shows up. And if my number and my information shows up at the same time, and people try to cross-reference that, what kind of jeopardy am I in? So,
okay.
and other people in the community, the same. I'm saying this. I'm asking this question for everybody, not just me.
Okay, that's okay. It's a good question.
Yeah.
Now you're talking about the Dinar community, not your community, right?
That's correct. Oh, absolutely. Yes, I'm talking about.
Okay. So, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. You sign an NDA with Wells Fargo Bank. Your NDA is with the bank, right?
Correct.
It's not with the U.S. government. It's with the bank. We're on our call, and you come back, and your area code is 805, which is what state?
California.
Okay, so you're in California. So now we got the whole 805 area code, million people in there. We got a million different numbers, million different possibilities work with Wells Fargo. So that's the first thing. Now, when we say 805 and you say, my name is Lightbearer or whatever your board name is. I don't know what your board name is, or if you use a board name. How does Wells Fargo, first of all, find out what your board name is? How do they find out of all the 805s it was you and not your neighbor or the guy down the street? And do you think, or anybody here think there's a possibility that Wells Fargo has the authority to track our calls or to tap into our phone lines or anything else to see what number we're talking to on every call?
Okay, that answers my question.
No.
That's why that's...
I know, and I did it that way so everybody could understand it. They don't have that authority to do that, or they don't have the people to monitor 8 million people who go and do an exchange. They don't. So unless you're going to do something blatant, like, hey, on Facebook or Twitter or one of those social media sites, and say, I got $8 and everybody else only got $2, then how will they ever know? Now, me, I mean, they're probably going to monitor it, but you, they surely are not.
Well, I was thinking more of a government, so the NDA is with the bank, so that answers the question. So, yeah.
But even still, you would not come back on this call and say, I went to Wells Fargo and got $17.
No.
Whether you signed an NDA or not, because we would not be asking that information, not that particular type of information. We're looking for people to come back and share what happened. I did this, I did that. But if they sign an NDA, that's a little bit different. But for the ones who didn't, even their information is going to be general. So it's not going to be, I exchanged 2 million dinar at $7.50. No one's going to be that particular giving information. Not even on our call, even though it's not going out publicly. We still just don't want you to be doing stuff like that. But general things, sure, we're looking for folks to come back and share experiences, but not detailed amounts, because none of us need to know your detailed amounts.
Okay, that's the question I wanted answered. And then the third thing is I was with you, Tony. I heard escort. I did. I heard escort. Now maybe
me too.
Mine, that's what I heard. And believe me, it got my attention. I was going, where's he going from here? I mean,
me too.
So other than that, guys, hey, as always, you answered my questions. I appreciate it a lot, and thanks for being there for us. We really appreciate it. Have a great day.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Just for clarification for anybody else, if I'm ever addressing escort, I always add tag service to that word so you'll know escort service.
Oh, okay.
All right. Yeah.
You got me, I'm telling you.
You got me too. I'm I'm going.
All right,
Republican Ray is going somewhere with this. I don't know where. All right.
Okay,
All right.
take care. Bye-bye now. 360 area code. You are on.
Well, good afternoon, Ray.
Hey,
morning,
good
Tom.
afternoon.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Well, I hate to brag, but I'm feeling pretty good. It's hard not to
Good.
with the news that's out and wondering if there's coincidences with Trump being in Vietnam now and all the stuff that's going on with that. So I guess one of the questions I thought, do you think there was any relationship between them deciding to meet him in Vietnam as opposed to China? Did that bring into anything?
Okay, so this is going to be another one of those deals, guys, because I got it yesterday, and we've gotten it so many times, and I just don't even know how it correlates or why these people try to put it together. What is, the significance where it says he has to be out of the country for the RV to take place? I don't even know what part of that makes any sense to anybody. It's a global event. Iraq is making an announcement. Why does Trump have to be out the country for an RV to take place? Oh, I know why. Wait a minute. I just figured it out. Because when the RV takes place, these secret guys are going to take over the government, and he has to be out of the country when they jail everybody and install the new government so he can come back and be the dictator. Yeah, that stuff doesn't even make sense. I don't care. You can go to an elementary school or middle school or a high school and say the president's going to go out the country, we're going to revalue this money, and this deep state is going to take over the country while he's gone. But he has to be gone in order for them to do it so he can come back and still be in charge. I mean, that is just nonsense. It doesn't even make a little bit of sense. But that's when the RV is going to happen, right?
It's going to happen.
I'm not joking. I'm just trying to see what about that makes sense to people. I don't understand it.
Sure. Yeah, that I agree. Oh, and just for the record, I thought I heard escort too, and then I was trying to get to the currency of Vietnam, and I thought, nah, don't go there. And so, I do have another query, and that is that when I first started buying Dong and Dinar, that the banks or whoever I was buying it from just wanted the money, and that was that. And there was no curiosity. And now, when you buy Dong, as example, they want to know, are you buying this for travel or are you buying this for an investment? And I guess I'm curious to know what your take on that is, and if you could have happened to have said, well, I'm buying it for an investment, would that change either the ability for it to be taxable or not? And then if we say, no, I was thinking about going over there and visiting the country. You know what I mean? There's a difference between those, but they asked that question. And in fact, it was asked recently 3 days ago. Your thoughts?
All right, because the rules change. Remember with Dodd-Frank, the rules change how much you can buy as an investment without first proving you're a qualified investor. So they will track that through the bank to when you get to that limit. Now you're at the investment limit, and the bank has to make sure that you are a qualified investor or stop selling it to you, one or the other. So, or they're tracking how many of their people are now buying this for when it happens.
Right.
They can put them on a separate list because they weren't doing that before. But a sophisticated investor, which is what they're looking for, remember the rules are going to change to $10 million and above. Everybody else is supposed to be buying it for travel, not for investment purposes. So the rules change for them, and they're trying to follow the rules. The rules change because of now and the next basket and the basket after that. They want to make sure they're not letting us back in unless we're qualified.
I see. Okay, because I know when I was in New Zealand, they wanted my address, and of course I gave my New Zealand address, and the lady says no, and so I said, "Do you want my U.S. address?" And she said yes, and I repeated it to her, and she goes, "That's correct." So she already had my address on the screen, my U.S. address, when I was buying it, because I bought while I was there consistently, and so that kind of tipped me off and made me think that they're already tracking this, and this was over a year ago that changed. So I was just
listen. Let me tell you guys something, so you understand. I'm trying to think. I've probably bought 10 million dinar. I bought 10 million dinar one night or dawn. And my CIA guy, who used to be here, he called me up the next morning. Said, "Tony, you really bought this much last night?" And I said, "What?" He said, "They're watching everything you buy. They know exactly what you're buying." He said, "And you bought this last night?" I said, "Yep, I did." So, yeah, they are tracking it. And I bought it at 10 o'clock at night. 7 o'clock in the morning, he was telling me what I bought. So, yes, they are tracking it and have been tracking it for years.
Well, they should already have an idea of each one of us, do you think? Or do you have to reach a certain level before you become, financially significant to them?
I don't think they have every individual. Well, I know they don't. But they've gone in, and most of the places that sell currency have been audited, so they know where that portion of it is. What they don't know is where it went from there, how many people you handed out what amount to, so they don't have that. So those people aren't at least being tracked, and they're not going to track a guy who got 1 million, 5 million, but I've been doing this for years, and plus me and probably a bunch of other gurus are being tracked and audited anyway. I know that, but that's just part of life.
Sure. Now, the facts of all the questions relative to an NDA and all of that kind of stuff are all pretty much subjective because we don't really know what it's going to say yet. Is that fair?
We don't know what it's going to say, but even at 4 pages, it won't say a whole lot because that's what I hear yours is going to be like 4 pages. But the key thing is, for that 90-day period of time, just don't tell what rate you got for what currencies it was offered. That's what they don't want. While this initial rush is going in, and again, you got $8 on Tuesday, somebody else got $4, and you guys are sitting down talking. You tell him that now he's mad. He wants to go back to the bank and get his other $4 because he didn't know he was supposed to ask for it. They just don't want all of that. But 90 days after it's over, they can say, "Sorry, sir, that was 90 days ago. We can't go back and change that now." And life can go on. But that's the purpose of the NDA. Because anybody who doesn't sign the NDA, now if you can go in the first day and you get $4.43, and your brother and sister wait until the 3rd day or the 5th day and they get $5.15, you can tell the whole world. Because there's nothing they can do about that because that was the rate that day. So they don't care about that. They care about the contract rates and the astronomical differences and the negotiated differences during that day. That's what they have to keep quiet.
Right. And as far as being able to, if you make the phone call for the 800, when you make the 800 number, you say I want the contract rate. and you go in and it's not what you want, you can also just walk away. You think that is going to be in the mix, so that if you want to wait for the rate to go up, that you could do that?
You can always walk away. It's your money. They can't make you exchange your money.
Sure.
Anytime you don't feel right, you don't feel like you're being treated right, you can do something better. So you know what? I don't think I'm going to do this today. Sorry for wasting your time and my time, but I'm going to go to another bank and see what they're offering me. And go do that.
Sure. Makes sense. Okay, I've taken up more than enough time. I apologize.
He got cut off. I don't know what he said. Maybe I don't know what you guys are saying.
Hopefully some of these questions will help others.
All I hear is a lot of static.
As well as me while I'm trying to figure it out. But thanks again, you guys, and we'll hopefully we'll have a
so it must be me again. I'm not hearing anything but a lot of
celebrate
static.
on time. And
so I have to wait
till
Ray comes
thanks
back.
Again.
Hello.
Hello?
Nope, still static.
Didn't touch anything. Huh.
Hello. Hold on 1 second. We're trying to reconnect everything.
Okay, I'm still here. I'm still here. I might be here by myself. I don't know.
Okay. Can you hear me?
But it's still static on the line. So.
Tony? Tony, you still don't hear me? Okay, we're having
okay, well, somebody at least text me so I know if you guys are hearing me, even if Ray's not. Let me see. The call stopped. Oh.
Some folks can hear me, some can hear
Tony. So I'm just talking to static then? Is that what that means? Or it stopped for everybody, not just me?
Hey, Tony, can you hear me?
Then Ray's having issues?
It's not working.
Let me see. Oh, Ray said he can hear me, but I can't hear anybody else. So, all right. Maybe you want to disconnect me and call me back or something then.
All right, let's try that. See how that works.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you fine. Can you hear me?
I hear you. All right, yep, we're back. Okay, let's do it.
Okay. I don't know what happened there. Oh.
I'm here.
Okay, I'll get to the next caller.
Oh. You're going in and out, though, and you're kind of low, too. I can barely hear you.
Okay. How about now?
Yeah, that's better.
That's better?
Yeah, much better.
Oh,
much
I see
better.
why, too. Okay.
Okay.
I have two microphones here and two headsets, and this is just a little bit of a challenge here. Okay, so 360, we lost 360. I think we were at the end of the conversation. So next caller is 610. No, wait a minute. What happened? Go ahead. We'll go with 610. I can grab the other ones that I kind of skipped over.
Hey.
610.
Hello,
Go
Ray.
ahead, sir.
Hello, Tony.
Hey, good morning.
Hello.
Hello.
Can't hear you.
You can't hear us? You can't hear me? Well, now I can't hear you either. So I guess that's fair. Since you can't hear me. I hear you now, Raymond. I don't hear him.
But you don't hear 610. And
no?
I don't
Do
either.
you hear it? Oh, okay.
Can you try
It
it
look
again?
like
610?
we'll have a
Okay,
real
hello,
short
Tony.
call.
Can't hear you.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Hello.
Yeah, okay, I hear him.
I hear him too, but he said he can't hear us.
Okay. Well, he just dropped off. I guess he's going to try to come back in. Okay, let's see.
Somebody's saying
some
no
of the other
internet.
callers
Is
fell off
internet
too.
is on?
What's going on with this thing?
Yeah, it says no internet.
All right, let me try what I have next in line. 314 area code. You're on.
Did you say 214 or 314?
You. He said it's you.
Is that me?
Are you there? Yes, that's
Yes,
you.
that's you. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I thought he said 314, so I was like, okay, let me just ask to see if somebody answers.
I was saying 214.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon. My first question, I guess, since they asked about the NDA, I'm kind of confused now. Why would the NDA be for the bank and not for the U.S. Treasury if they're paying this out?
Okay, you're doing your transaction with the bank, not the U.S. Treasury. Citibank, Chase, Wells Fargo, whoever you're doing it with at that time, they're setting the rate. Each one of them going to have a different rate, even though they're going to be competitive. So that's who it should be with.
So does that mean that each NDA could be slightly different based on the bank?
No, I think the U.S. Treasury is approving the NDA for this process.
Okay. And my original question, the Iraq was supposed
Hold
to
on for a second. Hold on.
Okay.
Ray.
Yes.
Ray, can you hear me?
Yes.
There's a whole lot of noise. I can barely hear her. And I'm getting texts at one line they can't hear us at all. They're still on, but they can't hear us.
I had to hang up and call back because it stopped.
Well, now it's crystal clear. It's just me and you, so go ahead right now because the noise is gone.
Okay.
All right, you can hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
I can hear
now
you.
we hear you. And the noise is gone, so we're perfect right now.
Okay. Laughing so much I'm forgetting my questions. My question was, March the 4th or 5th, Iraq is supposed to meet to complete their cabinet, correct, still? Or have they already done that?
They're supposed to meet on the 4th, and they said within the second session, which I don't know when the second session starts, they wanted to complete their cabinet.
So that may not be March the 4th or 5th. It could be after that.
Yeah, they have to open the session, close the session, and then start their second session is when they said they wanted to complete it. But, they can open a session for an hour or 4 hours and then start the second session. Or they could do it the second day. But Parliament goes back on March the 4th, yeah.
Why is it ringing? The phone is ringing?
A phone is ringing, that's for sure.
Right. That's not
I
me.
think he's dialing into another line.
Okay.
So they can hear us.
Do you think that we're going to have to wait for that for the RV or no?
I don't think so because everybody's waiting right now and they're ready. Now, I could be wrong, but so far they told me they're ready. Again, the rate is there, it's just on administrative hold. I didn't see them putting it on administrative hold for a month, saying it's all live, ready to go. All we have to do is remove this hold. You got to go to the bank. I didn't see them putting it on administrative hold or even authorizing it to go that far if they weren't ready to do it right now. Not wait to see what they do on the 4th or the 8th or the 12th, but are ready to go. I mean, that's what makes sense to me.
Okay. And my next question, you've always been told that the 50 and the 100 trillion were the only notes that were going to go if the ZIM did go. Why? Why just the 50 and the 100? Why are those two notes so prominent for Zimbabwe to still hold?
My guess is because those are the two that the U.S. contracted with Zimbabwe and made their deal with. Those. So those are the ones they want to go in. All the rest of them could be at a regular rate. But they have some kind of contract or agreement. Well, they did during the Obama administration anyway. I don't know if they still do or not. Based on those notes. Because that's where I got it from. These are the notes that we're going to do with this country.
With this specific, so they already had a rate, and that was at 11 to 20-something cents, correct?
11 to 22. 11 to 22, absolutely correct.
For those two notes, and they did a contract with those two notes with that contracted rate.
I'm saying they had some sort of agreement with Africa, with Zimbabwe, yes, to do that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's why we were given that. Now, since then, we've been told that that agreement had broke down. They were renegotiating. They couldn't come to an agreement. They came back to the table. I mean, we've been going through the whole process for the last 2 years, either trying to get this to still go. The banks are still saying it's going. Our committee guys telling us it's not happening, that they cannot reach an agreement. So we're going to see.
Right. And with that 11 to 20-something cents, it was always with the 6 zeros off. That was the agreement.
It was with the 6 zeros off, yes.
Right, with the 6 zeros off. Okay. Those were my questions. Thank you.
All right. Have a great day.
You too.
Okay, Ray? I don't know if you can hear me or not. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
People on the listen-only line are saying they can only hear you.
Oh, I can't fix that now. I've done reconnections more than once here.
All right.
And we've lost some people somehow. Some folks fell off. But 865, we have you.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much. This has been an interesting call. I was cut off as
well. I bet it has, huh?
Got back in here. And I thought, just for consolation's sake here, Ray, I did hear S Corp when you were talking. So in terms of...
Oh, you would hear S Corp.
I was listening intently. As I was listening intently, Tony, to your opening remarks to the call, and pointing out that, guess what, there's no new info today, everything is quiet, and then referencing, kind of rattling off banks, everyone over here, and the like. My question here is that simply in terms of you chatting with the folks and they didn't have the information, or did you actually encounter, in effect, a news blackout, especially with your Iraqi contacts?
Actually, yeah, there's no communication. So, as you want to say, a news blackout, because nobody is responding anywhere.
Okay.
Which could be a good thing. Go ahead.
Right. Well, I'm finding it interesting because what things are cycled that may be, 3-4 days old, or ones that actually when you read them you go, I read that 6 months ago, and they are rehashing this stuff. And other times they won't translate. So there'll be stuff out there, but unless you actually read Arabic, there's no way that you're going to know what's being said and the like. So. Okay, second question for you. The big news from the last call had dealt with your alerting us about the notifications going out, and that for the second time only to your time frame had they included entities other than the financial institutions, and you referenced embassies and military bases, trading platforms, and the like. What's the status on that notification? Is that the kind of thing that notification has to be renewed every 24 hours? Has it expired? Is it still valid? Where do we stand with respect to that?
It is still valid, and I don't think it has to be renewed until the initial time frame they were given is out. I wouldn't think they'd have to renew it every day to get ready, because they told them or gave them a window to work with themselves or a day.
And are you clear at this particular point where you can give us that exact window?
No.
Okay. But can
I
clarify?
can't for two reasons. One, because it would be a window like we usually do. And two, because if I said this is what they're looking for, not only would they not appreciate it, but I would want to say they would change it because you put too much out there for people to operate under. And then actually a third one, they may figure out exactly which agency I got it from.
Mm-hmm. Well, at this particular point, I think I'm going to change what I'm looking for, and I'm going to look for a door. And that's just open up the door and let's go walking through, and we won't even have to climb through windows. And with that, fellas, appreciate all the info that you have and the patience that you have with dealing with the technology of Blog Talk and the phone lines and everything else. My hat's off to you guys and the like. And 10 days from whenever, and that whenever date, we're counting on you guys to clarify that, because that 10 days post will be when we have our RV, TNT Superfantastic, or Pay It Forward project. We really appreciate it and looking forward to that. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Thanks again.
Have
a great day. Thank you.
You too.
Bye-bye.
All right, 951, area code, George.
Yeah, good afternoon. Good morning, gentlemen.
Hey, good morning.
Good afternoon.
Hey, Tony, question for you. A comment. I thought Monday's show was probably one of the best content-wise I've ever heard regarding this notification. So kudos to you, because I'm telling you, it was fantastic. If you put the pieces together, you put a lot of pieces together for me regarding this puzzle. My mindset right now is at the redemption exchange centers. I know it's going to happen, and I feel very comfortable that those 800 numbers are going to be coming out here very, very shortly. My question is that I know that when they call me, I'm going to tell them what currency I have. And then I go into the redemption exchange centers, and I think, walk me through, if you were my assistant on the side when I was in this redemption center, would we first talk about the interest rate first? Because I don't want to exchange everything, and they say, yeah, we'll give you a 1% interest rate. Are you going to talk about the interest rate first before we even start talking currency?
Okay, no, because I don't even know that I'm doing business with them yet. So I dialed the 800 number. I gave my information to set up my appointment, whether I'm going into a bank, a business office, or one of these redemption centers. Anyway, I'm sitting across from my guy. First thing we're talking about is what's the current rates on the currencies, because I need to know that first. Then I want to know, what about the contract rates? And what do you need to qualify for that? Do I get the contract rates? Based on this amount, that. And now I want to get that out the way. Well, I got $100 million. I got $50 million. Well, the limit is $20 million. Okay, I want $20 million at the contract rate, and then I want the rest of it at, the current rate, 25 cents above the current rate. I'm negotiating 50 cents. Look, I know this rate's going up tomorrow. I know what's about to happen. I know how the market works, and we're going to do this now, or I'm going to come back later and we're going to do it. Either way we look at it. But once they realize you know what you're talking about, okay, you have the right amount of money, then let's negotiate. Now, I'll say, okay. So now I know the rate. I know how much I get on my contract rate. Now we're going to talk about how much I have. I already know that you guys are authorized at least to give 10% a year. I already know that because I pay attention to the business is what I'm doing. Based on my amount, I know I should qualify for that. And if I don't, make me qualify for it because it's 10%. So I know I'm at 10% just based on putting the money in the bank. Now, I know you guys can make a deal here because we can. If I say I'm going to give it to you for a longer period of time, what's your offer? They say, I don't know. Then, okay, you're going to give me 10%, no restrictions, all that's in there. Now I want to look at what the county is offering for investments or what the IMF is offering for investments so I can make more on the rest of my money. And now I'm getting 10% interest regardless how much I leave there. Now I'm going to move it out and move it over here where I can get even more interest on my money. Because now I'm not getting 10% a year. I'm getting 10% a week or 10% a month with the IMF. Or I'm doing something else with the county. Now I'm looking to do all this. I'm telling this guy this right now as we sit down. This is my plan. So we can make it happen right now or down the road, but this is what I need to know, and I need to know what these numbers are. Because if you have the money, you're going to sit down with that wealth manager right there. While everybody else is going through their exchange, the normal process is taking them 20, 30 minutes, exchange their money, get their card, get their $7,000 cash, and walk out. Over here, we might be here for the next hour getting our plan laid out. Because that guy's going to be different from people who are at the teller or people who's with a private banker. The wealth manager wants to lay your plan out right now, and let's make sure we agree on all this before you go out the door. So those are going to be longer appointments for people who have more money.
Right. Now that's very helpful. And one question I wanted to ask you also regarding the interest rate, if it's 10%, are you going to ask for weekly interest rate or monthly, or what are you going to look at? I would prefer to go weekly interest rate so then I have control of that interest as opposed to waiting for 30 days. What's your take on that?
Okay, banks pay yearly, and you say, how do you want to get paid out on this 10% a year if you're at the 10% based on,
right.
$100 million, like some of you have now, I got $10 million. I want to get paid quarterly. I don't want to get paid every week. Just give me my money every quarter because I'm not going to spend it anyway, and I'm going to put some more back into it. You know why? Because at that level, I have to do my taxes when? Quarterly. You have to do quarterly taxes. You no longer get the luxury of a year. So let me go that all my interests go in with that quarter so I can go and do what I need to do with it. That's how I would do it. Now, if I'm with the IMF and it's a whole different ball game, then I'm taking weekly payouts because that's a totally different number.
Right. Absolutely, yeah. I would agree with you on the IMF is on a weekly basis then. Well, no, that is very, very insightful. I appreciate that. I've got this all written down here so I can, go in and basically do the same plan as what you're going to do. I have one other question for you. You had mentioned something about lower Dinars or something about 286. Was that the rate for the? You had mentioned 286. Can you tell me what that was for, please? Okay, somebody sent me something. I'm not going to say their name because they may not want all you guys to know, since everybody knows, saying that their family or friends over in Iraq were reporting on their cards, or they were reporting that it cost them $100 to get 35 dinar. What's today? Wednesday? On Monday. If today it takes $100 to get 35 dinar, and they have it on their card. And doing the math, the rate came out to $2.86. So they wanted to know that anybody else get it on their card like that. So that's what we were trying to verify. So I put it out there to some of our guys, and one of them immediately came back and said, hey, I got the same thing out of Geneva this morning, that there were people with cards with 286 on them. But we sent it to other people, and they haven't heard anything about it. And just like I said, some people have exchanged here, some haven't. I know my CBI guy and contractor, he got his money already, and it's on his card, and they're picking and choosing and pay this guy and pay this one and put this out. But he also said the lower denoms are trickling out. They're not going to everybody, but some people are getting them already. So it's just like, and I said it probably 100 times, I'm in California, and I'm in Sacramento. Now, it could be raining in L.A., sunshine in Sacramento. Somebody from North Carolina call out there and say, hey, is it raining out there? You're going to get two different answers, right? Yeah, right. Absolutely.
Okay, so it's no different, too. And here's the thing about that, guys. Somebody called me yesterday and said, do they have deer in California? And I started laughing. I was like, what? Well, do they have deer in California? Like, where do you think we're at? Where do you think that we don't have deer like the rest of the country? It was just crazy. But
right.
People just don't know. So, all right.
Yeah. I understand that. Well, hey, thank you very much. I really appreciate that info. That was a really good plan that you laid out, and I'm going to try to copy it as well as I can when I go in, because I think it's going to happen here within a couple of days. So that's just my opinion. But thank you very much. You guys have a great day, and hopefully on Wednesday we can have a congratulatory call. You guys have a good one. Take care all now, okay?
All right. Thank you, sir.
We'll see you. Bye-bye.
Okay, then.
All right.
610. We got you again.
All right. Good afternoon, Ray, and good morning, Tony. It's G-Man in PA.
Yes, sir. Okay, we can hear you now.
All right, good. Well, hello to the currency community, and for all of you who are new to the call and all of you who didn't know, all these calls and all the means of communication that Ray and Tony use to keep us informed need to be paid for. And in order to keep this information superstation on the air, our donations are needed. You can help by going to www.TNTSUPERFANTASTIC.com, clicking on that red donate button, and when you do, the name and address will come up to where you can send your check or money order made payable to Raymond Renfrow, P.O. Box 1748, Elm City, that's just like the tree, Elm City, North Carolina, 27822. And for those of you who would like to donate electronically, the Cash App is available on the donation page. And if you're already familiar with and utilizing the Cash App, you can go to $TNT SuperFantastic, and you can make your donation electronically. And when you're making your donations, ladies and gentlemen, please remember to put your phone number on your check or money order so that this way Ray can track those donations. Again, Ray and Tony, thank you for all you continue to do for us out here in the currency community. Thank you to both of your families for sharing you with us.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you to those 13 task force members still out there making sure that the bankers and meeting facilities will be available for us post-RV so we can get all that banking information. And I'll close out with Vegas. Verification, negotiation, diversification, protect your principal, and rally, so I can come join you and enjoy some of that good home-style North Carolina barbecue. Thank you, gentlemen. Make it a dynamite day.
All right, sir. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, Tony.
All right.
Okay, 423 area code. You are no.
Hey.
Hey.
I can't believe you got back on. I got dropped too. It's like I was walking along. I thought, where'd everybody go? So if I'm asking a question that somebody else has asked, I wasn't known for a few minutes, but several years ago and probably several times since then, Tony, you said there will always be people that did not want this to happen. Always. So, my question is, are those people that do not want this to happen, are they high enough that they could always stop it when it's in motion to happen?
Well, they're high enough that they always have stopped it so far. So anyway, yeah.
So what,
you got to remember it.
In other words, the reason it's being stopped is because they don't want it to happen, not because something needs to be fixed or something's not quite in line. They just don't want it to happen, even though everything's set up, and so they're stopping it.
No, let's say this. In Iraq, Maliki or the 26 bank owners who do the auction, they don't want it to happen. Why? Because they're going to lose all of their money. That's the way they've been making money, is through the auctions and reselling it. And why would they want that to go away when they've made millions and millions of dollars, where they've gone in and been able to smuggle out or steal millions of dollars? When these new laws and rules go into place and the currency revalues and the IMF is now monitoring the money, they lose. So inevitably it's going to happen, but they're going to fight it as long as they can to keep stealing and making whatever they can, just in Iraq. Let's just say that side. So Abadi, the CBI, that they're going against their own guys, first of all the corruption, and trying to get this done. Now, let's say CBI wants it to be done. They're like, hey, we did what we can, and we fighting these guys, so let's just go, because they're going to steal it anyway. And there's nothing we can do about it, or it's going to take time to get over that and through that. We'll just let them steal a couple $100 billion first. But then they come over to the U.S., and the U.S. says, no, you did this and this, but you didn't do anything to stop them, so I'm stopping. Even though you can let it go now, I'm saying no. Until we get all the laws in place, all the rules in place, until we get oversight in place, then it's not going. Somebody's keeping a whole lot of noise.
It might be me. I'm driving this old car and the windows don't go up and the wind's blowing. I'm sorry. Let's see here. Is it still real noisy, Tommy?
No, it stopped right there. So it was you.
Okay, I'm going slower.
Okay.
Okay, my question, I'm hearing what you're saying. I've heard you say that before. But does everything have to be exactly right and before the U.S. lets it go? Because when you say it was 10 minutes from going and it was stopped, that kind of like makes me feel like this thing ain't ever going to happen. It's just gotten too complicated over the years, and nobody wants it to go because it's just going to put too much money in bad people's hands. I mean, so do you feel that way? Like maybe it's just not going to go? It's gotten too complicated? Or
no, I feel it's going to go. If it wasn't going to go, then they would stop doing the laws. They would stop having meetings to do the reconstruction. People would stop offering them money. There wouldn't be any progress at all in the banking or the upgrade to the cars, electronics. They're not doing all of that just so it doesn't go. They're doing all that so that it is as smooth as possible when it does go. It's never going to be 100%. We already know that. I mean, and nobody's looking for, okay, we've closed every loophole, we've corrected everything. I mean, that's never going to happen. But they want to get it enough to, okay, we got it down to this one area that we have to watch, or this one group. Now we can go. We've got it down to, we've got the new currency out there, we got the borders locked down, we're not letting money come in the country. So now ISIS can't use all the money they stole, and these corrupt guys can't bring all the money back in the country to redo it. I mean, those are the loopholes that are being closed right now. And when they're done and they feel secure, then they're going to let it go.
Well, do you think all those loopholes have been closed in? Do you think they're ready in that area? You think
well,
that's
I think they are. Again, they wouldn't be making the announcements that they're making and telling people we're days away from this happening, or setting up the border laws at the rate of, 5 dinar and 10 dinar can't come across the border. I mean, why would you do that if you weren't getting ready to change the rate?
Well, I hear what you're saying, but I know you said that before, like it doesn't look like either they wouldn't do it that far out, but then some of those things were years ago. So my question is this like different than it's ever been right now? Different. Like there's something so different.
Well, I mean, of course there's been progress, but again, the notification level is like I said, I've only seen it one other time where they're actually notifying people at those levels who need to have that information and be ready to go, at a minute's notice as soon as it happens.
Was that when it was 10 minutes before going? Is that when they had all those notifications out and they stopped it?
That's when they had them, and everybody was ready. And I know they were all getting the same kind of notifications I was informed of on Monday or Sunday and Monday. So I said, hey, we're back to this level of notifications, and okay, I can feel good. Because if we get within 10 minutes again, we might get within 5 minutes this time. I don't know. Or it may go all the way through. But it had to reach here, I know, before I could even actually believe that it was going. Now, so the fact that I got the information that they were notified and looking for something doing this week, then we'll see what happens.
Have the rates ever been on the screen just waiting for the activation codes? Has that happened several times before? Or
have they been on administrative hold before? Yeah.
Yeah, they've done that. Yeah, okay.
Now, not for this long, it hasn't, but it has been on administrative hold before. Yeah.
Again, I can remember years and years ago, thought it was going to happen, and it didn't happen. You said, man, the banks are so mad because they've lost so much money getting ready for this thing to happen, and then it not happening. We don't ever hear that anymore, not from you, but are they still losing money every time they think it's going to happen and it doesn't?
No, you got to remember back then, the banks were bringing everybody in. They were paying overtime. They were putting them up in hotels. They were feeding them. I mean, they were doing all kind of crazy stuff because they wanted to keep them locked in. And that's what they were mad about. They kept having to bring their people in, bring them in on Saturdays and 12 hours and doing all this training. But the government paid them for that because that's why they were saying they were out. I'm not doing it. We're not involved. You guys got it all screwed up because they wanted to get paid, and they got paid.
Right.
But again, we don't see them.
I hear, you all are saying for sure it's going to go up and then it's going to come down. And then there's other intel providers that are saying and there's no way it can go up that much because it will wreck the economy. And back when that happened with Kuwait, did that inflation mess things up? And then did they say we can't ever let it rise up that high again because of that? Or
no, it didn't. And trust me, they weren't involved in it. If they don't do stocks, they don't do IPOs, they're not involved in the market, they didn't even watching money, they had no clue. There's people still out there supposed to be gurus and telling us what's going to happen, that it's going to hit the board and it's going to inch up over months or years to get up to the rate. They have no clue. Yeah. So, and those are the things that let me know they don't have a clue about what they're talking about or how this is going to work. Why do they think that it's not going to go up when the rate is sitting there at the bank and has been sitting there for years? The bank has already been trained on this and know exactly what they're going to pay us out. Yet they, who have no information, can put out, on their calls and read that the RV is not going to happen. It's never going to be that way. Why are they involved in it? Why have they not looked at the history of the world, the history, because history repeats itself, of every country that we've already gone to war with, and see that this is not anything new. This happens every single time, and the currency revalues every single time. So to me, they're just complete idiots. I look at them and I laugh at what they're saying, and the people that are following, I feel sorry for them because they're following people who they think have some knowledge and insight and can look at this, and they clearly don't.
Okay. All right. Okay, well, listen, Tony, Ray, thank you so much. I hope this is our week. Okay,
yes,
God bless you.
Thank you.
Okay,
all right.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So, let me say this first, Ray, because I'm in a saying mood so everybody understand this. And this is for everything. And Tony said it, and Tony is saying it right now. I want you to look at all these gurus out here. Look at their information, including Tony. Look at what's been given out. Look at what's predicted to happen, what we say is going to happen, the rates that it's going to come out with, and what happens afterwards. And then you'll know, historically and forever, who's an idiot and who wasn't an idiot. because the idiots are going to continue to be idiots even after this when they finally realize what happened and know for 10 years, 5 years, or however long they've been gurus, they've been feeding you bad information. I want you to look at everybody who's telling you the TRMs and we're going to have new money on Saturday morning or the day after the RV happens, when you go to the store and you go to the ATM machine or the bank and they give you the same dollar they've been giving you. What does that tell you about those idiots? I want you to think about it the day after the RV happens and the week after, and President Trump is still the president. And if he's not, it's because of what Michael Cohen is saying today. But anyway, it's not going to be because of the RV. Or when we still see Obama at the next basketball game, or Michelle on TV doing an interview, or you see George Bush, having a beer somewhere, and none of this mess they're telling you happens, then what do you think about those idiots after that? And now you got hundreds of millions of dollars, and they're going to be trying to tell you what to do with it. You better start writing down some names, looking at this, because they give you a clear path of who you don't want to follow. I guarantee you that. And I'm going to say it again after the RV, because I'm going to remind you. All right, I just want to get that out there. Sorry.
Okay. 205 area code, you are on.
Hey, guys, how y'all doing?
All right.
All right, how you doing, man?
To the nth degree.
That's lovely. I had a question about the dome. I was doing my figures, and so if you can buy $1 million for $47, then does that mean that the 47 cents is based on 1,000 dong dollars?
No, it's going to be based on
one dong would be 47 cents. Be $470,000.
Okay. So right now, one dong 47 cents.
No, not right now. Once it revalues.
Okay. Because I was wondering how I could buy $1 million for $47. And I was trying to do the math on what it was currently.
Okay. This is what you do. Do you have a currency calculator?
I do not.
Oh, okay.
I have a regular calculator.
Well, you need to download a currency calculator. Okay? If you go to the currency calculator and you put in $1, right? D&D, it says 23,206 Vietnamese dong to equal $1 US.
Okay, I do.
So that's how you come up with your number.
Okay, so if I was to go to Vietnam with their currency right now, does that mean I could buy bukus of stuff with their money?
No, it means you could buy $47 worth of stuff with their money if you had $1 million.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
What are their rates and their prices over there? Yeah, you could, because the dollar is much murder.
I see.
Over there.
Okay.
Would you be rich if you went to Vietnam and you had $1,000, or like I just go to the Philippines and $1,000 a month? Would you be considered rich? Yes, you would.
Okay. So if I was to go over there with my $10 million right now, they would think I was a king.
You're $10 million what?
Dong?
No. If you was to go there with $10 million, you'd be God. But anyway, not God.
I see.
Like you
You're talking about
you can go over there with $10,000. You'd be a king.
I see. I understand. Okay, so you was talking about U.S. dollars.
Yes, U.S. dollars.
Okay. Well, that's the only question I had. I was just needing some clarification on, how it breaks down from U.S. to dong and all that. But it's really not going to matter after the RV because we're going to have a pocket full of money anyway. So you guys have a blessed one. Enjoyed talking to you, and hope this thing hits Friday.
Okay.
All right. You too. Thank you, sir. So hold on for a second, Ray. I'm going to tell you guys a story real quick. You understand what I was trying to relate to him. So when I was in the Philippines over there, I would get a personal cook, security guard, yard maintenance, and a maid. All four of them for $120 a month. That was their pay. Wash, clean, do everything, do yard maintenance, everything for $120 a month. That's what it would cost me. So that's the difference in the living standard here and over there. And that's why you see military people go overseas and they never come home. Because they be like, why? I mean, even my retirement is $3,000 a month. I'm spending $120 a month getting everything I need taken care of. Then I'm living the life of a king. Because that's how it is. And all you have to do is do the numbers. And that's what if you go to Vietnam, it's the same way. If you go over to Korea, it's actually the same way. You just live like a king based on your income over here. And that's why it's dollars to whatever that is. If you went to India right now, because they get 44 to 1, and I used to pay this guy $1,000 a month in India, do my servers and like that. And, he was the richest guy in town. And he happened to be the mayor. But I paid him $1,000 a month. He just loved me. Tony, that's, 44. Anyway, it's a different life over there. So, go ahead. I just want to know, so you explain that Vietnam thing. All right?
Okay. 870, you are on.
Hello, gentlemen. How y'all doing?
Great.
All right, how are you?
Sir, to the nth degree.
I'm fine. This is truck driver from Arkansas. So I want to ask you a quick question, Tony. Did I hear you say when that thing ever jump off to when we go to the bank, I need to take my wife with me and do all this paperwork and everything?
It depends on two things. First of all, do you like your wife? And second of all, do you want the contract rating?
You trying to get me killed out here.
Look, you trying to get yourself killed for asking that question.
No, man. I look. I really love my wife. I really do. Sometimes she can be a hassle, but I want to do the right thing because I want to do the right thing and make sure it's right. I just want to make sure she's there if I need her there, or I just do a contract rate by myself, or however this thing goes.
Listen, if you are married, you should take your spouse with you. Absolutely. You there?
Did I lose him? Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
No, here. Okay, I'm just saying anybody that's married should take their spouse with them to the appointment.
Okay. Now I understand more better because I didn't really understand it because the foundation that Ray was talking about and all this trust and everything, I just want to make sure I get my ducks in a row when I go do this.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you for that, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, sir. Have a great day.
You too.
Okay. Bye-bye. 619 area code. You are on. You are on.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. I got a couple questions for you. This is probably regressing, but get it clarified. What is the difference between going to a bank and an exchange center? It's time to exchange.
What's the difference between going to a bank and where?
An exchange center, currency exchange center.
Your exchange center may be at a bank. There's just the difference is everyday banks that people go to. Then you'll have some office buildings that have private banks inside the building that people aren't used to going to and don't even know that they're banks. and then you'll have some empty locations that the banks have set up to process people through. So we don't know what your exchange place is going to look like. They're all going to be exchange centers because that's what you're doing, exchanging. Just some will be actual bank locations.
Okay. And why is it so important that we get a bank that has the exchange center inside of it?
It's not so important. Okay? In Charlotte, I'll tell you guys this. I think I told you one time before. They have this big office building. It's right on one of the main streets in Charlotte. Of course, Charlotte's one of the banking capitals. So it looks like a stock company. I had somebody actually go there. He went in, and they had set up all these desks with these partitions. But it's going to be an exchange center. And you're going to get everything that you get if you go to the bank that's 2 doors down from them. You're going to be exchanging. You're going to get your account. You're going to walk out with your card, and you're going to walk out with $7,000 to $10,000 cash. Not going to be anything different. They just needed room to process people. That's why they built these other locations.
So when we go, like if we were to go to one of those other locations, would they then transfer it to our regular bank account?
It's going to be your regular bank account. They're going to be part of the bank. So this is what you guys do, because I know you're nervous about it. I'm going in, and I'm going to take my laptop with me, if you want to, your phone. I'm going to look on my bank account because I already have it. And when we're processing, I'm going to see that same deposit on my phone that he's showing me on that computer or on my laptop. I'm going to go in my own bank and see that it's right there.
Yeah. Okay, so I just opened a new banking account at a bank, and they said to me, I asked them about, do you do currency exchanges? And they said, well, we send it out.
Okay.
We're not going to send our money out, are we?
Well, some banks, smaller banks, different locations, they have to send it out because they're not authorized to do it. So they send it out overnight. They get a rate. They contact you, say, hey, do you want to accept this rate? You say yes. Then they process it and they put it in your account. Everybody doesn't like that. But people in remote areas or smaller banks they go to, that's going to be part of the process. Unless you go to an actual exchange center with that size and they're authorized. Again, that's why they want you to call the 800 number so they can make sure they're sending you to the right.
And what is the meaning of the definition of structured contract rate?
A structured rate would be that they pay it out to you over a period of time. Something that you would agree to. A year, 2 years, 5 years. They can pay it out to you monthly, semi-annual, annual, whatever term you agree with.
So if that's not no way of investing for us, that money, by doing it that way. That's just helping them from having to give a lump sum at one time.
Yes. Now, guys, I want you to listen carefully. If you have $5 or $100 million coming in Zim, and they say, okay, we want to do a 5-year payout, and we want to do it $20 million a year. So how do you want it? And you say, well, $20 million a year. I basically want $2 million a month because I don't want a yearly payout. Give me my $2 million a month, and then I want 10% interest on my money, whatever it is. Or I want to go 80-20, give me 20% up front, stretch out my 80, but pay me, yearly or monthly, whatever you negotiate on the rest of that money. Don't just pay it out to me for 4 years, $100 million each year, because you got my money now. I need to get paid interest on my money at least in this structured payout, and then how you want to get it. I loved 80-20 when they said they were going to do it that way. because that meant I got interest, I got payments every month, and at the end of 5 years, I still got all my money back. So it worked for me. I don't know about anybody else. So you guys have to look at those things.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. All right. Have a great day.
Okay.
Let's see, 817 area code. You should be on. 817? Okay, this thing is acting crazy. 1 second. I thought I opened it.
Boy, you're having a bad computer day today, huh?
There it is. Let me try it again. 817.
Hello?
Hi there.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi, Tony and Ray. I have a
Hi.
question, Tony.
Okay.
Can you explain about this IMF, and I think there's another one that is tax-free interest?
I can tell you that according to our committee guy in there, and I think there's even something online about it, the IMF is looking to do projects globally, actually, and they're looking for people to invest in those projects. So with doing that, they intend on paying interest rates weekly, monthly, or yearly based on how much you put in and how long you are going to go. And actually, he said it was 5-year cycles. You can go up to 5 years and then renew it for 5-year cycles when you do it.
Okay.
So,
is there one in the United States also that's not the IMF?
They have, your county does, and your state has programs the same way that they're looking for investors that if you want to do it on a local level. It's not going to pay out the same type of interest that the IMF can pay out. But if you don't have enough money to get involved in the IMF projects, then that's what I would look at doing, getting involved in my local community or state projects because they have their own that you'll be guaranteed interest payments on. But more important, you'll be doing something as part of the community, and it's something you can see for yourself come to fruition and know that you were a part of it.
Okay.
And
is the federal government maybe going to have some type?
Do what?
Is the federal government going to have maybe a tax-free investment also for infrastructure?
The federal government always has tax-free investments in urban areas and low-income areas and housing projects. So you just have to let the bank know what you're looking for and have your wealth manager and your private banker go out there and find some local ones for you.
Okay, but you yourself are talking about doing IMF investment.
That's what I'm looking at doing. Yes. Now, I mean, I'll do some local ones, but the bulk of mine would go to IMF because that's the best payout. And it's a locked-in time, and I'm sure it's secure. So I don't have to worry about that. And we'll have some guidelines and some assistance with it probably right after the RD and be able to give you guys some kind of direction or something that you can at least go to the bank and ask for and say, this is what I'm interested in.
Okay. You said after we exchange, we would talk to our wealth manager appointment. We would talk to him about the investment in the IMF.
You can talk to him. This is the thing. It depends on how much money you have, whether you're going to do it at the exchange or after the exchange. Because if you have a lot of money, your wealth manager is going to say, let's put a plan together right now while we're doing this so I know what to pay you interest on and what to entice you to do and everything else. Versus, you only got a couple $100,000 or you got $2 million or $5 million, you're probably not going to get in an IMF project because you don't have enough money to get into those type projects. So it's something you can do afterwards with your city or county, or probably even the federal government.
Okay. When you do this negotiation yourself about the IMF, do you already have an interest rate that you're thinking about, or do they just tell you which projects and how much interest you would get?
Well, I'm sure they're going to offer you something, and you're going to decide if it's something you want to do.
Okay. All right. I certainly appreciate you talking to me.
Okay. Thank you for being here. All right.
Okay. Thank you, and have a good day.
You too.
All right. You too. Bye.
All right, sir. Let's wrap up today's segment.
Okay, guys. It's a great day to be a Dinarian. There's one more day, one more opportunity to go buy some more Dawn, if nothing else. $47, another million, another $500,000 at least. So let's do that. All right, not a whole lot of news, which could be good news. So we continue to wait. The process is moving on. All right, be ready so you don't have to get ready is all I can tell you at this point. If anything happens, we'll tweet it out, shout it out, we'll let you know, and we'll get back together. If not, I'll see you Friday morning. Right?
All right. It's hump day. We're halfway through the week. We'll see what happens between now and Friday. We'll be getting back in touch with you. Keep believing. We sure do.